Hey friends, it's Eric and Tay. We're poolside once again on this nice, beautiful summer day with my new little friend, a company that I've done many reviews on their lawnmowers. But today we are looking at the very first pool cleaner. This is the Mammotion Spino E1. In today's video, I'm going to tell you 5 things you're going to want to know about him before you decide to buy him or not. Without further ado, let's jump in the video.
All right, first things first, I do want to let you know Mammotion did send this out to me for a full, honest review, but this is not sponsored in any other way, as I do not allow paid sponsorships on any of my channels. If you guys love tech and reviews as much as I do, hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, truly appreciate if you also hit the like button. Truly appreciate it. All right, let's jump right into this. And the first thing that you need to know about this pretty good looking pool cleaner, I like the look of it. But the first thing that you need to know is that this is a entry level pool cleaner for in-ground pools. Now, don't take my words as a con. The entry level pool cleaner is good enough for 90% of in-ground pool owners. Now, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, and most people don't need those bells and whistles. So save a little bit of money, and this does a great job of cleaning. And this leads into the second thing that you need to know is about its cleaning ability. Now, I did mention this is an entry level, but by far this does a terrific job of cleaning. It first starts on the walls and the water line, and then it moves its way to the floor. Now, it's not going to go sideways on the water line like some of the more premium pool cleaners, but still gets up there and gets up onto the water line, and it does a terrific job. And for the most part, it got the entire pool in one session. It did get caught in the corners a couple times, but it did eventually work its way out. Just when it does that, it does waste some battery, but depending on your pool shape, you might have an issue where it stays in there too long. But in my particular pool, it did work its way out. It has great suction power, and the cycle lasted about 3 hours on average, and then it sat at the top of the water line for about 15 minutes. But obviously, it's really hard to time that, so you do have to use the hook they include in your pole to pull it out, unless you can figure out 3 hours roughly, you come out there and then you can take it out of the top of the water with just your hand if you make it in time. Now, this only has one brush in the front. Actually, there might be separate pieces like most other pool cleaners, but it looks like one big brush. It does not have a brush in the back like some other more premium, more expensive pool cleaners. But like I said, this still does an amazing job of cleaning. But I would like to see a secondary brush in the back, which I'll talk more about my wish list later on in this video. And if you only want to clean the floor or only the walls, you can set that up by pushing the button on the machine itself before you throw in the pool cleaner. Or you can use the app, which leads into the third thing that you need to know is that it does have an app. Now, unfortunately, this is a very basic app. You can go in there when the pool cleaner is out of the water, and you can select what mode that you want. You have all modes, so it's going to do the walls and the floors. You have the wall mode, you have the floor mode, and then you have the eco mode, which you can also set up directly on the machine. And that eco mode is going to do 50-minute cycle. I think it's like every 3 days or something like that. I don't remember exactly what the spec is, but if you're going on a vacation, you can just put in that eco mode, and it kind of just helps keep it clean while you're not home. Now, also in the app, there is a turbo mode and a multi-platform mode. I was not able to test that multi-platform mode because I don't have like a lounge or a tanning ledge or anything like that. I did do the turbo, and unfortunately, I didn't see any better clean because my pool is already pretty clean. But I did see a difference in the battery life, so be aware. If you do use that turbo mode, you are going to get a lower battery life. I'm assuming because it's up in the RPMs and it's sucking, it's sucking more. And basically that is it for the app. Like I said, there's not a lot of bells and whistles in this machine, but does a great job of cleaning. Now, there is one other thing that this app is useful for that you're not probably use it that often, but it's really important, and that is firmware updates. So, like I mentioned earlier, it had the issues with the corners sometimes. Maybe they will update the firmware, and that's how you would do it is through the app. So be aware if there's an update, do it through the app and make sure that you keep it up to date. Now, the fourth thing that you need to know is about the parking, the charging, the cleaning of the debris basket. And like I mentioned earlier, at the end of the cycle, it will park at the top of the water line for about 15 minutes and then battery die, and then it'll sink back down and you have to get it out with the pole and the hook. And you really cannot time that, but if you're there, then you can pull out with just your hand. And it's not that heavy of a pool cleaner, which is a huge plus. And then you let the water drain out, and then you'll want to clean the debris basket, which is a good size. I wish there was a ultra fine filter for when you want to get those finer things in the pool, like algae and that type of stuff. It doesn't happen that often in my pool, but it really helps sometimes to have that ultra fine filter, but does not have that. It just has a fine filter, which in most cases, in most cleanings, that's good enough. But would have liked to see, even in this price range, a ultra fine filter, which I'll talk more about my wish list in just a moment. And then your charges up via the power wire, which there is a plug in the back. You want to make sure that's kind of dry before you plug this in for safety and that type of thing. And that leads into the fifth thing that you need to know is kind of like my wish list or things that are missing out of this pool cleaner that would take this from a good pool cleaner to a great pool cleaner at the same price is basically three things. One is the ultra fine filter. Would love to see that in this pool cleaner. Two, would love to see a docking station. That way I don't have to worry about plugging in a wire in the back. I think that's a huge inconvenience, and having a docking station is a benefit, and you can just throw it down on docking station and it will charge up for the next time. And then the third thing, which I mentioned earlier, is that second brush in the back would have been nice even in this price range. I can't really tell you if that's going to get you a better cleaning or not, because this did a terrific job even with that one brush on the front. But overall, and in this price range for an in-ground pool cleaner and the first pool cleaner by Mammotion, which, like I mentioned earlier, they've done a lot of lawnmowers and they do a terrific job, but this is their first pool cleaner and they've definitely done an amazing job. And I can definitely recommend this pool cleaner to you guys if you have interest in it. I will leave affiliate links down below, and if you guys can use those, that'd be greatly appreciated, because it does take months of testing these and then putting it all together and honestly giving you my feedback. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I hope this video was helpful. I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.